Well, it's been rumoured on the ground that Shimano are going to drop their 105 Di2 very, very shortly. And we know that people have been asking for electronic systems down to the third group set. And we've also got SRAM Rival offering it on their group set, which is their third tier group set. So it's pretty easy to predict this is going to come, and I did predict it in one of my videos earlier this year that we will see a Di2 105 coming out this year. So let's roll it intro and let's have a bit of a talk about what could this group set look and feel like when it's released. Now, the Shimano Di2 105 is probably one of the most anticipated components for bicycle that is wanted to come out for some time. A lot of people have been talking about they would love to see a electronic 105 group set. So I think it will probably be pretty popular at that level. But one thing we need to acknowledge is that this group set obviously is going to be not to the same level as Ultegra and Dura-Ace. And it may not even be partly wireless. It may be fully wired like the old systems where they may use their old tech and only trickle that down to the 105. But I probably would argue they probably won't. They may use exactly the same technology they've got in their Dura-Ace and Ultegra, and it will be the partially wired system because it makes sense. They're making that. They don't have to make two parts. They can just put it into their lower group set. But one thing I do think we will see, we'll see it being pretty heavy like the rival system is. It will be significantly heavier than the 105 mechanical systems that's currently on the market. And this could be a bit of a negative for some people who are building up those mid-tier bikes and they don't want that bike to get too heavy. So what sort of weights could we be looking at here? Now, with the rival, I think it's going to be a similar weight because if I was Shimano, I would be competing against the rival and I would probably make it, if I could, just a little bit, maybe 100 grams less than the rival, just to undercut it. And I would make it 12 speed. So it's got the new 12 speed technology on it to compete with the SRAM group sets. Now, I think what we're going to be seeing, if it's going to be only offered in the disc brake versions, you're going to find that this group set is going to be pretty heavy once fitted to the bikes, and with the disc brake group sets and on a disc brake frame that's a mid-tier frame, and we probably could be looking at bikes that are pushing almost 9 kilos completely built up because obviously they're going to put heavier wheels on it, they're going to put heavier seats and bits and pieces, and they won't have carbon bars. So that mid-tier bike, I would probably argue, could be 8.5, maybe 9 kilos. So that's pretty heavy. That's like 2 kilos extra than the UCI limit. And if you go and put 2 kilos in a backpack and carry that around, you do feel it. So it's not just a couple of 100 grams we're talking about. It'll be significantly heavier, and it will be pretty hard to get the weight out of the bikes at that mid-tier level. So in conclusion, I think this is a great thing that they're offering the tech down to the third tier, and it gives people that option. But I do believe that the premium for the Di2 over the mechanical 105 is going to be significant. It's not going to be a couple of $100. It could be, $500 to $1,000. That's what I would predict, at least Aussie anyway, maybe something a bit less US. But the premium for the electronic components will be quite expensive, which pushes the bike up. Then you've got to buy the frame. It'll be a low-end carbon frame on one of those mid-tier bikes. And obviously the seats and handlebars and wheels will be relatively cheap systems to keep the price of the bike down because it's a 105 range and it's got to compete in that market. So the bikes are going to be pretty heavy, which is a little bit disappointing. When you have a rim brake bike, you can get away with some heavy components on it and still have it fairly light. Like if you looked at a rim brake bike, like a 105 bike, even though the group set's heavier, it still is not that heavy compared to the disc brake bikes or even carbon or top end bikes. It's not that much heavier than they are. And it kind of, you go, it's a 105 and it's rim brake and it's a bit heavier, but it's not a lot heavier. But once we go to a disc Di2 105, you'll be finding the weight will be significant. And that's my prediction with these mid-tier bikes. Well, anyway, guys, who's been waiting for 105? Leave your comments down below that you have just been like ignoring, waiting till this 105 comes out, because a lot of people have been talking about a 105 group set for a long time. And would you buy one? And also, what do you reckon these mid-tier bikes are going to weigh? Do you really think they're going to be 9 kilos, 8.5 kilos? Let's put a figure on it and let's see what they turn out to be. And let's just have a say about that and leave it in the comments. Well, anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to leave it. And remember to click that bell and subscribe if you're a Ninja watcher. And also go down the bottom there and like the video. And that'll be really appreciated. And I will see you next vid. Cheers.